the countryside, see everything green and beautiful. All I did was smile. Strange and proper, I didn't. I witnessed as a child and as an adult, and I wouldn't wish it on the 6 men who killed me, nor on those who ordered my murder.
You have to have a truly rotten heart to control people, states, and countries without any understanding ingenuity or human sensitivity. The only time I remember being happy was when I first looked for a job and spoke with a white-haired man who owned a private jet station. He told me his whole story. It was just him and his beautiful wife. I remember I was only about 18 years old at that time, before I became famous. I remember that day I had my natural red hair and freckles on my cheeks. I loved them. But as the years passed, my freckles disappeared. The only time I could truly be happy was when I was alone and sang the songs of that era which I learned by heart. When I was alone in the garden, in the woods, or while bathing, I would always sing, making sure no one heard me. Because in my time, for a poor girl to sing was synonymous with becoming a prostitute, or in those times, only women and girls could sing if they were rich and white or artists. The poor, even if white, if they didn't come from a rich and powerful family, had no rights. And as they said derogatively, the same was true for black Africans. Years passed, and my childhood, adolescence, and up until about 24 years around, were a tragic but sideless.
No one knew. I never told my story to anyone because I knew they would attack me. I knew one would believe me. I kept my pain, sadness, tears, and physical and psychopathic abuse. They must go and suffer in silence until they killed me.
A woman's heart is full of secrets she never tells. When I had my first home and job, things started to change. But I never forgot my first audition. They never let me give interviews about what I really felt. Hollywood never let me speak or do interviews. No more.
Juliet or talk to the pulpit comfortably. Ever since I lived in Hollywood, chaos have always terrified me.
I never felt comfortable. Just when I was in the garden and cultivating the roses, every time I went to one of my properties or events, I felt millions of eyes in places that were supposed to be private.